Hey guys, I've seen many people doing little journal ecosystem tours, which I love that word. That's so fun. Um, Considering that is like my favorite hobby, I thought, what else to do for my first talking to a camera video? This is very weird, and I don't like it. I have 8 journals currently, which may seem a bit excessive, but it works for me. I have been journaling for 5 years, since I was like 12. I started with bullet journaling, and then that was just too intense, too much pressure. Yeah, stopped doing that for a little bit. I got burnt out from secondary school as well, of course, and gave up a bit. And then about 2 years ago, picked up Commonplacing, um, started that, and then have gathered many more journals along the way. I had a lot of qualms with bullet journaling. Is that the right word? Qualms? Or issues with bullet journaling. I. Here. I did bullet journaling religiously for maybe 2 or 3 years. I think I have 2 other bullet journals from this time. It was fun. I made the pages look cute, which I enjoyed. I mean, maybe cute's being a bit generous. I thought they were cute at the time. I would beg to differ now. It certainly makes me feel better about my current journals. But I enjoyed that. I enjoy writing lists. I enjoyed filling in little bits and pieces. However, the constant every day, having to fill in 10 different things, not sustainable. I just don't have the time to do that. It very quickly just became a bit of a chore. I, every day I don't have the time to write tons. I wanted to be one of those people who journaled every single day consistently. I'm not. That's okay. I've come to peace with that. That's the beauty of these things, is you work out what suits you, and I have. Well, I'm still figuring it out, but definitely better than bullet journaling. I enjoy making things look pretty. I enjoy writing little lists. I don't enjoy having the pressure of having to do it every single day. And never really looking back on it, I find a lot of it too cringe to look back at. I'm like, oh shit, why was that like that? But even so, I don't care whether I drank water on a random Tuesday in 2020. It didn't encourage me to drink any more water. It just was a bit of a waste of my time. That's okay. No hate to anyone who is an avid bullet journaler. I totally see the appeal. It's too much pressure for me. I want to start by talking about I don't have 2 journals on me. My recipe book and my traveling journal. My recipe book is something I've only just started. I'm basically writing recipes that I make, that I find, mostly with things that I'm gonna grow in my new garden. But there's nothing in that. I don't have it on me. It's not interesting. There's nothing in it. My traveling journal, I want to talk about in a little bit, but I don't have that because it is traveling. It's not my turn with it currently. So to start, we'll talk about the one that isn't in my journal cover, simply because it is too thick. And this is my junk journal. It is just a plain black softcover from Stationery Island. The sticker is from my Imaginarium sticker book. This cross thing that I can't touch because I'm holding the mic is just off a necklace that I safety pinned on here. The clips from Amazon, the laces from a craft shop. This is, I mean, in the name, just where I stick all my junk. Anything that gets collected, anything. I do some collages from magazines and things in here, but mostly it's just stuff that I gather and pick up throughout my life. Everything goes in here. This I have been doing, I've had this specific journal, which is my first junk journal, for a year. I think last summer I got it. It has been the one that I have stuck with most consistently just because I find it so enjoyable. I like making things look pretty. I like sticking on my little stickers and my washi tapes, colour coordinating everything. And I think it's so much nicer way of keeping memories. It feels more, green and eco-friendly because I'm not chucking stuff away, sticking in here. And I really do look back on this a lot and go, oh, I got that in this place, or oh, I got that with this person, which is lovely. I think I don't enjoy writing about my day-to-day life that much. I write a lot about my thoughts and feelings and my opinions on things, but I don't write, oh, today I did this and I went there, and I just don't care. Like, I don't care enough about like the ins and outs of what I was doing on a random day. My life is not that exciting. However, I do like having tiny little bits from different places that can jog my memory and then I can remember. I get postcards a lot from places I go to. I keep receipts, bus tickets, tickets to the theatre. I have people's hair in here. I have leaflets. I have calendars. I have like labels off of things, birthday cards, things I've got in charity shops. Yeah, I've got a plethora of things in here. This is probably the journal that means the most to me. There's just so many things in here that I really would not want to lose. I have like little notes written to me by friends. I have drawings from secondary school. I have photos. Like, this is, yeah, I care very much about this one. I feel like it's also one that's very easy for anyone to do. You don't need a whole lot of time because you don't have to do it. You often can't do it every day. I don't have junk on me every day. I don't leave the house enough. But all you need is a journal and some junk. Obviously, I use washi tapes and stickers and I draw things in here, but you don't have to do that. You can. I've seen people who literally just stick crisp packets and receipts and shit they found on the floor into a journal, and I think that's lovely. I think it's wonderful. I think it's a lovely way to remember certain events and to just keep things out of the streets and out of landfills. You can go, oh, that was a really lovely chocolate bar I had, and it's not down the throat of some poor turtle. Instead, you've made it into something pretty, and I think there's something lovely in that. The next thing that I have is my journal cover, full of journals. This is where most of my journals sit. Now, this journal cover normally has an elastic around it, but it appears I have lost that. I made this journal cover myself. I made it from a Weetabix box that I wrapped in fabric and hot glued. I hot glued the fabric on the inside. This is a Moomin patch that my boyfriend bought me. There's a broken bracelet on the side here, and a little ribbon. Essentially, I cut a large rectangle of cardboard, wrapped it in fabric, glued the fabric to the inside. Then I attached the two elastic bands. This is very hard to hold. to the back. They're stuck down on the inside, up there in the corner, and at the bottom, and on the back to keep it all nice and tight. And then the notebooks basically just slide in. You can't see that. Slide in to the string. You just like put the string in the middle page. This one can only technically hold 2 because it's only got 2 bands. But I attached a hairband to this one, so we've got this, and then this one's just clipped in. I also have a pocket in the front, so I've got stickers in there. I've got a bookmark that my mother bought me. I have my sketchbook just tucked in there. I think I might have some birthday cards like deep down in there somewhere as well, but I can't get them out because no more hands. So in here I have my sketchbook, my Commonplace, my planner, my gardening journal, and my dream journal. I'll start by talking about my sketchbook because there's really not a whole lot to say. This tiny little thing my great grandmother left me in her will. It did have a little ribbon around it, but that broke. I just sketch. Nobody's surprised by that. It's not particularly pretty. Well, not all of it. Some of them are nice. I like the fish. Some of them are not so nice, like whatever this is. I find I do have a big sketchbook, but I don't tend to use it that much. I find I tend to draw when I'm out and about more than I do at home, or make art or whatever. So I find that having a little one that I can carry with me is so much easier. It just means I have a tiny pencil case. Even if I just have a pen or a pencil, I keep a pen in this pocket all the time. I can literally just stop and draw wherever I am, which is so much easier. It's less stuff to carry around. It encourages me to draw more, which is something that I don't do enough. So yeah, I'm fond of my tiny little sketchbook. The next journal in here is my Commonplace. This I have been doing for about a year. I had another. This is my second Commonplace journal. This is a photo that my boyfriend took. I don't know where this journal is from. I think maybe Sainsbury's. I got these little pen loops on Amazon. They just stick straight in. Then obviously you have my little clip. On the inside I have a postcard from the Tate Modern and my prom photos. So this journal basically just has all of my writing. I don't want to show much of this because it's very gloomy, very personal. But it is literally just pages upon pages of lists, of diary entries. I write book reviews in here. I write film reviews in here. I do creative writing. I do note taking for essays. I do planning for films. I do lists. I do poems. Did I already say poems? I do sometimes stick things in here because I don't carry my junk journal with me all the time, but I do carry this with me like permanently. So some stuff gets stuck in here. Not a whole lot. It's mostly just writing. This is just I put quotes I like. I just scribble lyrics, songs, poems that I read. Pretty much anything and everything gets scrawled in this. This is my messy one, and yet my most favourite. I said that about my junk journal. I take that back. This is absolutely my favourite one. This is one I use most. I reach for this the most. I write pretty much every day. Whatever. Just thoughts and musings and complaining about the world. So yeah, this is definitely the only one that I would not want people to look through. This is probably the closest to like a diary. Although I would not call it that because it contains so many other things. But I find it the most useful. I think it's good for everyone to have a notebook that they just scribble in. I've met very few people who don't. I think most people have a journal of some sort like this. Something that they just kind of grueling thoughts and feelings and lists and notes and such. It's handy, it's nice to keep, it's nice to read back. You can sort of read back and go, oh shit, I was so whiny. Then we have my planner, which is probably the closest thing I have to a bullet journal. I would not call it a bullet journal just because it's not quite as structured as a bullet journal. There's not quite so much stuff in it, like habit trackers and whatever. I don't know where this is from. I think it's from Flying Tiger, the diary. Stickers are just from my sticker book. Everything else is from Amazon. I stuck a little pocket in here, so I have a geese scene. I have some pictures of me and my boyfriend. I have some drawings. I have another photo of me and my boyfriend and some receipts in there. I have wanted a Hobonichi Weeks for so long. However, I don't have £30 to drop on a journal. It's extortionate and I'm broke. So this was my attempt at making my own Hobonichi Weeks. I failed. Basically. I kept messing up. The lines were never even. I'd write the wrong numbers on the wrong dates. I'd write the wrong days on the wrong days. I'd write too many days in a week. I'd make the boxes uneven, and it drove me up the wall. I crashed out, and my boyfriend said, well, you don't need to have a Hobonichi because that's boring. Everyone has a Hobonichi. This is your own thing. And I was like, wow, this is so petty, and yet that's so wise. So this is my Mia Bonichi. It's my own very imperfect version of Hobonichi Weeks. It's not exactly the same. It's adapted to my liking. I have a overview of the year on the first page. Then I just have week by week. I have a space to write what I'm doing. I have a mood tracker and a media tracker. Those are the only trackers I do because they're the only ones I keep up with. Obviously, I do decorate them because what is life without decoration? I find this so handy. I do use my phone calendar whilst I'm out and about and I don't have time to write in this, but I have too much stuff to keep on a phone calendar. I don't like looking at a phone calendar. It gets full, it gets messy, I get confused. This is so much easier. I have more space. I can see what I'm doing. I can tick things off as and when I do them. I like being able to track what I read as well. I can look back and go, shit, I've only watched Love Island for the last week. This is bad. Let me read a book. And I think it's nicer to just have a diary, to a planner, to keep everything organized, keep myself organized. I did try for a little while to do a drawing a day in here. Failed that within 3 days, I think. I gave up. Yeah, 3 drawings, and then I gave up. I just don't draw that much. I don't have the time. I don't have the motivation. So I don't know what I'm going to do with these pages because I do have the months in boxes now. But I'm not doing that anymore. It was a nice idea and I like seeing other people do it, but I just don't have the energy. Then in the back of here, I have my personal curriculum. This is also another trend that I've been seeing going around, which I honestly love. I think it's wonderful. I think in this age of brain rot and laziness and intellectual decline, I think it's so important to keep friction in your life, to keep expanding your knowledge. Obviously, I know I'm still at school, but especially when you're not, it's easy to fall into a sort of mindset of not learning new things, and I don't like that. I think even though I'm at college, I don't learn that much, and I hate that. I think it's important that we encourage ourselves to keep exploring the world, keep learning new things, keep expanding our mind to, fight against the intellectual decline, fight against AI doing everything for us. Let's do it ourselves. So I have essentially a page for every topic that I want to learn about, or everything that I want to do that's going to help me learn. So I have my reading list. These are all books that I want to read. I colour the books in orange when I own the book, and then I tick them off once I read the book. It's extensive. I've got a lot to do. I've read 2 books this year. So then I have my watch list, which I haven't started writing because I have 600 films on my watch list on Letterboxd. And I'm not going to fit 600 films on here. So I'm having to sort of work my way down into films that I really want or need to watch, because I'm just not going to fit 600 films on there. I'm probably never going to watch 600 films in my life. And that's okay. But yeah, I'm just taking things off on there once I watch them. Then I have a page for art projects. So I have 2D art, photography, 3D and crafts, and video and sound. And I write all of the little projects that I want to do, things I want to make, things I want to experiment with, that fall under each category. I haven't been doing this for very long, so a lot of the pages are blank. I am still collecting resources and topics and such. I have a page for film studies. So for these pages where it's like topics that I want to explore, I am basically going to write books, sources, things to read, things to research, and I can take them off as I go along. So obviously I'm gonna research all sorts of things about film because that is my passion, that is my life, that is my everything. And I need to learn more about it, even though I already know so much. I need all the knowledge in the world. Then I have a page for my film project. So I've written a tiny bit about the films I'm working on this summer, but I need to write more. So that's just where I can take notes about how I'm working on my film, what I'm doing for my films, any ideas that I come up with. Then I have a page for gender studies, which again, not written anything on, but I'm just going to write resources, reading material, such and such. I have a page for art studies. I'm looking to go and do art history at uni, so I want to learn more before I go. I have a page for other projects, which there's nothing on, and I have a page for YouTube. So for all my videos, for all my essays that I'm going to write, I have a little page there. And I have a page for gifts, which isn't really part of my personal curriculum, but I see gifts that I want to make people, and I write them down so that I can make them in the future and I don't forget. So that's everything that's in my planner. The next book, which I attach, so this is just a hairband that slipped into the middle of this, and then I slip the next journal into the middle of that, is my tiny, teeny little garden journal, my plant journal. This is just from Amazon. It came in a 2-pack. The stickers are from my Imaginarium sticker book. Basically, in here, this is my favourite little journal. I keep all my notes about all my houseplants. I'm very into botany. I have a lot of plants. So I write, let me show you. I write the name of the plant, I do a little drawing, I write the Latin name, I write a description of the plant, I write everything that I need to know about caring for the plant and how to propagate it. Then the space underneath is for problems that arise and how I overcame them. So say my plant has yellow leaves. What does that mean? How do I fix it? I haven't had problems for all of them, so there's often blank space. But when problems arise, they will go in there. I also occasionally write stuff I learn about spirituality in here. I would not identify as a witch, but I do align with a lot of sort of Wicca and pagan practices. So things I learn about spirituality go in here as well, because I often find that they link to my gardening practices. Also this summer I am starting a vegetable garden in my front garden, so all of my stuff about that is going to go in here. I've not started on that yet, but I'm going to grow my own food and give it out to people, because we need to do that more. I encourage everyone to make things and to give it away for free. Stop selling your shit. You don't need to sell it. Give it to people. People are poor. Give people stuff. I have like a little section for plants I'm propagating. Then at the front I just have my collection. Whew, got too many plants. And that's everything that's in there. The last journal that I have on me is my dream journal, which is just clipped to the back of my book. Again, another tiny little one. This is some kind of wood, I think. My boyfriend got this for me off eBay, I believe. It's like homemade, handmade, bound together by rope. And I think the paper is handmade as well. There's nothing else to it. I just write my dreams in here. I date it. I write what happened in the dream. Some of them are very long, some of them are very short. I was encouraged to do this by my boyfriend. That was what he bought the journal for. And I actually really enjoy it. It's really strange to just go back and see what you're dreaming about. And for therapy, it's very useful because your dreams tell you a lot about how you're feeling and what you're thinking. You might not even notice. And you go back and you think, oh, yeah, I am actually terrified of worms or something because you've had dreams about worms coming out your nose. That is all of the journals that I have on me. I also am doing a traveling journal with my friends. I think there's 9 of us on the traveling journal. I will put some pictures of it somewhere around here. We bought a little journal from our local craft shop, and I keep seeing videos of like the sisterhood of the traveling journal, and I think that's so lovely. And I wanted to do that, and my friends were down, and a lot of the sisterhood of the traveling journals that I see are very like bullet journaling. They're very cute. They're very aesthetic. They're full of like craft paper and washi tapes. My friends are not particularly like that. Not all of them. We have the journal. We each do a page and then we pass it on to the next person. A double page spread. I think it's on its 3rd person currently. And then at the end, it will come back to me. I will scan all the pages into the computer, send it to everyone, and we'll have a little collection of all of the things that we have done together and apart over however long it takes us. And a lot of my friends are going to uni next year, so it will be interesting to see how it travels across the country. But yeah, a lot of my friends have very different journaling techniques, so I'm interested to see how it's gonna turn out. I think it's all gonna look very mismatched, and I think that's gonna be lovely. It will help our personalities shine through. So I'm very fond of our traveling journal. I think that is everything. I have no more journals left to talk about. I watch a lot of journaling videos, of course, because it's like my passion. It's my favourite hobby. I think everyone should journal in some way or another. I will link some of my favourite journaling videos in the description in case people want to go and read more. Obviously, there's a lot of different things I could talk about. This is just my journaling practices. There's all sorts of journaling practices. There's different ones that work for different people. I think it's worth exploring. I think it's worth experimenting with. I think it helps you learn more about yourself, the world around you. It helps you become more mindful. It helps you become more knowledgeable. I think it's just a nice practice to write or to just make things regularly. It's nice to memory keep. I like memory keeping with videos, YouTube videos online as well. But I do like having them as a physical thing. And yeah, I think that's everything. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. I hope that everyone goes out and journals and starts a journal for themselves and then comes and shows me about it so we can info dump about journaling together, because that would be fun.